Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this AVP WAUPACA boat ride open here in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And there's a lot of action happening, even just to the left of the court that we're seeing on screen. On that court is a men's quarterfinal that's gone to a third set tiebreak. It's tied at 14 apiece between Evan Corey and Troy Field against Tim Baumgren and Eric Lepke. We're in a semifinal right here featuring our reseeded to number 3, Savvy Simo and Abby Van Winkle, facing off against the number 10 seed, Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez. I'm Rob Aspero alongside Taylor Wright. Will be joining me here in just a few moments, but we've got volleyball ADHD right now because the scores that are dropping here in all the quarterfinals, all happening rather quickly. But hopefully I can throw a little save over to Taylor Wright because there's so much excitement, and I'm having a hard time focusing knowing that that score to the court to the left is coming down to the wire. So Taylor, what say you about our women's semifinal, our first?
What a phenomenal matchup we're about to see. We got to call the first match of the weekend with Savvy Simo and Abby Van Winkle yesterday, and just an hour ago, Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez showcased their talents right here on Stadium Court, and I'm expecting a dogfight here on Stadium Court as Izzy Martinez played some of the most phenomenal defense we've seen in the last 3 weeks. I would say only second maybe to the final 22 points of the final last weekend in Denver, played by Gina Urengo, and that storied classic of a match that is already making its rounds, as I know that match got analyzed on your podcast by Gina Urengo and Avery Jackson, and what a phenomenal match that was. But Izzy
Taylor,
Martinez,
I gotta interrupt you. I'm so sorry.
Do it.
Match point, Baumgren left to Corey and Field over on that court just to the left right now.
Don't worry, Rob. As I'm trying to get these sentences out, I'm watching the score ticker, and it's volleyball ADD. I can't keep up, and I'm gonna do it, Rob. I'm gonna rub the salt in the wound for just a second. Got to watch Evan Corey and Troy Field drop the first set yesterday to a 16 seed, and then battle in the third set. So Evan Corey, Troy Field certainly struggling a little bit this in the playoff bracket so far, and Tim Baumgren and Eric Lepke are giving them the business right now. 16-15 match point on the court just next to us, and a big serve there by Tim as we can just barely make out in the corner, and an equalizer point, so that's going to go to 16s.
Oh my gosh, can we just turn this camera to the side just for like 3 minutes?
Just for a second, not to take anything away from this matchup as it's not started yet. Ladies and gentlemen, Savvy Simo, Abby Van Winkle. We watched Abby Van Winkle put on a pretty good clinic at the net. A little bit of sloppy play by both teams in that first match that we had here on Stadium Court of the weekend. Savvy Simo and Abby Van Winkle able to clean it up down the stretch, taking that match home 21-13, 21-15 against Allison Kerr and Emily Weber. But after that, we heard and got to see quite a bit that Savvy and Abby cleaned up their game as they then took their next match 21-9, 21-19 against Ella Connor and Isabella Martinez. So a little maybe comeback, maybe see if they can return the favor here in the playoff bracket here in this semifinal as Martinez and Connor try to find an answer for Winkle and Simo. Be very interesting to see the gameplay difference. Again, we talked a little bit about that first set of 20, and by the way, I'm going to stop myself, 17-17 on the men's side right now.
I was trying to sneak that in on you. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 17 all, and it's another match point for Corey and Field.
18-17 now. Yeah, another match point. Man, Andrew, what do we turn the camera? Give us the sky view.
Just do a picture-in-picture with your Instagram Live. Come on, someone help us out here.
And by the way, you can see that crowd filling in. We're also hearing from our AVP staff on site that the timeline's been pushed up here just a little bit off the top of the block of Troy Field.
And a Kong block by Baumgren.
18-18, as you see the stands just kind of erupting over there to the left as these guys are putting on a show on court number 1.
I think our referees are trying to watch it also. Our R1 and R2 on duty, they're watching court 1 action.
I don't think Savvy Simo and Abby Van Winkle or Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez want to start this match. I think they want to just kind of hang out till this is over.
Oh boy, something big happened. I can't make it out either.
Evan Corey just popped a ball. That's what happened. I could barely make it out on the edge.
We got a women's semi. Let's try it and focus here, but it's hard. We basically have a NCAA Gulf Shores matchup happening here. We've got the former Bruins of Savvy Simo and Abby Van Winkle been reseeded to be the 3rd seed, facing off against the current Cal Poly Mustangs, or a recent grad in there, in Ella Connor. That's Izzy Martinez, Ella Connor against Savvy Simo and Abby Van Winkle. First serve in the air, and Ella Connor on the first attack, and goes off of AVW.
Yeah, again, a storied matchup here. UCLA taking on Cal Poly. A lot of history between those programs, and they're going to try their best to play for their colors proud here as we get a full reffing staff on stadium court by the AVP officials.
And Abby Van Winkle clocking one down the line.
By the way, really quick update. Match point now for Tim Baumgren, Eric Lepke, 20 serving 19 in the 3rd set, which is supposed to be a game to 15, gentlemen.
Van Winkle, the 6'2" blocker from San Clemente, California. It's in South Orange County in Southern California. Ball's picked up at the side by Martinez. Simo off the scoop. Simo high line. Ella Connor on the tomahawk dig, and Connor going thumb down for the winner.
Great set by Martinez there, kind of back off the net in the middle of the court, just rolling that ball up. Great location for Ella Connor to be able to go up and turn that ball down the line just out of the reach of Savvy Simo.
20-20, the perfect score on court number 1 right now in that 3rd set tiebreak. Serve down to the seam. Simo steps in, takes charge, right side attack down the line, and sends a message off of Connor.
Big swing there, man.
That is an authoritative swing. Simo, dynamite does come in small packages. Always one for the highlight reels when it came to playing at UCLA and her first year on the AVP last year. Simo off the cable, Connor on the cover. Connor gets up and gets down.
Ella Connor returning the favor with a big swing of her own, snapping that ball back down towards the line.
Blackjacks over on court number 1, 21-21.
I was waiting for you to see it.
Simo calls for it off the back set from Van Winkle, soft knuckle winner.
I gotta say, so far, Rob, a really great response, in my opinion, by Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez. Again, we brought up they did drop their first set in pool play to Savvy and Abby, and so far in this set, going toe-to-toe with them and battling well.
Van Winkle going towards Martinez this time. Martinez shoots over the block and misses long unless there's a touch.
And we're switching sides for serving three here, set number 1.
Didn't see what the R1 called on that. They took their hands down too quickly. Guess there's a touch.
I think it looks like it was a touch, so it certainly looked like it was high over the block, but we are seeing Martinez back at the line now.
4-3. Martinez just finishing up her junior year for Cal Poly and gets an ace on the deck. Oh, Corey Field have turned it. It's a reversal of fortune. It's now match point for them again, serving at 22. As Van Winkle goes to Simo, and that misses wide. Tack error for Savvy.
Yeah, Savvy, not a normal miss there by Savvy Simo. Typically painting lines and taking names. Misses that one just outside the court.
Well, her fiance is on the court right next to them, and she may be a little distracted.
That's a good point, and I'm certainly thinking she was part of the slowdown for the, maybe had just a couple extra seconds to start this match. Maybe she was hoping she could catch the end of that match next to, but that match is turning into a marathon over there. 23-23.
Yeah, Evan Corey, Savvy's fiance, on that quarterfinal match right next to them as Martinez gets a good pass and a good rip inside the block of Van Winkle.
This is what we saw in their last match. Izzy Martinez certainly being the smaller hitter in this duo, coming in at 5'9", but what a powerful swing she's putting down right now.
Standing float by Connor, checking off of Simo. Simo dropping it right behind the block.
Martinez almost getting there in the last match. That was kind of the storyline, was Izzy Martinez. I don't think a single ball fell that she didn't touch, whether it was playable or not. She was touching everything, and she's certainly looking to keep that streak alive in this set. So far, she's touched almost everything, but giving up just a couple short shots.
Martinez off the platform, fires to the pin by Connor, and bouncing it off the end line is Martinez.
Another quick update, another match possible point for Tim Bocker and Eric Lepke. They have traded back and forth, and another lead change, so a match possible point right now for Tim and Eric.
Raise your hand if you got volley ADHD. That's my hand's up. I'm pretty sure yours is up too, Taylor.
Both of them. Well, I look like I'm on a roller coaster right now.
6-8 after the service area and the switch. You're looking at Savvy Simo serving here on our near side. Simo stands at 5'10", a defender from Rancho Santa Fe, California. The pretty recent grad of UCLA, one of the definitely standout players for the Bruins in her entire career there, but also playing for Wave Beach and Indoor down in San Diego, and another volley powerhouse in Torrey Pines High School. Connor blocked up top, over on one, or the ooh factor.
Martinez not giving up any chance there for Savvy to go get that one, and just places it right down with a quick little one ball.
10 serving a 6. Difficult serve into the seam, picked up by Van Winkle. Van Winkle smooth as silk down the line.
Yeah, great turn there by Abby, just recognizing that late defensive move by Martinez and just pushing it down and away. By the way, I think we finally have a completion of that 10th match, 27-25. Evan Corey Troyfield managed to pull off the win against the 9 seed. And gentlemen, bow to the crowd. That game's supposed to be the 15, and they just played 27-25. What a intense third set match that was. Now, Savvy, wave your hand at Evan. Get some good luck, and then see what you can do on your court, young lady, because you're putting on a show so far, but you are down a couple and need some juju to get going here in this first set of the women's semifinal.
Savvy able to take at least a micro breath of air of relief, but then has to get right into her match. But when you got Abby Van Winkle on your team, again, she executes so smoothly, and that last play was a great example. Don't have to bring the heat every time. She saw the empty spot and rolled it high for that winner. And then showing her aggression is Izzy on the other side.
Yeah, a great swing there, just barely tagging that line, really dialed that one in. You know, she's not playing in this Women's Open, but there was a face right there in the corner. I just have to give a shout out. There's so many good Florida players up there in Oshkosh, Wisconsin right now. There was Savannah Gonzalez and Blake right there. Some great Florida and Georgia players, as Savannah does actually hail from Jacksonville Beach, Florida, right here in my hometown.
That's your hood, Taylor, and the right coast representing well all over the nation in Division 1, 2, and actually all the NCAA programs are seeing so much talent pockets within the Florida, Texas, and California. We're seeing other areas of talent, and we were talking about North Carolina, South Carolina, then you have a pocket over in Ohio, Missouri, got some Utah gals, and you're beginning to see some girls from New Jersey and New York.
Yeah, we've talked so much over these last couple of events. Jacob Justice and I really digging into it in Virginia Beach, and then the three of us talking so much about it at the Denver Open. This NCAA, NAIA pipeline straight into some phenomenal players on the AVP and FIVB side has been a storyline of it. Just the last 2 seasons, we saw a very, kind of standard operating procedure for such a long time that they would finish their collegiate career, then start playing some lower level AVPs and slowly build their way up to these Contender Series events. No longer the storyline. Avery Jackson coming into our first tournament ever at AVP Denver and walking away with a big W, with a big check and a bid into the Manhattan Beach Open with Gina Urengo, who already has her bid into the Manhattan Beach Open. So it'll be a very interesting story to see what Avery does with that bid and who she's able to go get and play that a beautiful tournament with. So,
well, I think I know. She actually maybe playing with her college partner, Brooke Rockwell.
Oh, what a match that would be.
Oh, look at that penetration up top by Connor.
Ella just elevating there and just grabbing that ball with authoritative press, cranking it back down cross court.
Did you just give her a nickname, Ella Vate? I think
Ella
you did, Taylor,
Vate.
unintentionally.
Someone text her agent. I want 1.2% of all t-shirt sales.
And dropping an ace is Izzy Martinez in a commanding 15-9 lead right now. Got a timeout taken by Savvy and Abby. And Taylor, what's happening on the side of Abby and Savvy?
You never want to see it or think it that maybe Savvy and Abby came into this match thinking, man, we already beat these guys in pool. Let's just nice, simple, nothing fancy. We'll just kind of march through this game. And I said it early in the match, what a response, in my opinion, by Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez here. They dropped that first set 21-9. They responded well in the second, still losing, but 21-19, a much better response from them. But so far in this match, if you told me that's the same team, I'd call you a liar. So what a phenomenal 180 that Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez have pulled here. I don't think Savvy Simo and Abby Van Winkle recognize these two players across the net from them. They're asking, who are these gals and when did they show up? Because this isn't the same team we played in pool.
See, I have a sense that Izzy and Ella texted Todd Rogers and said, hey, what do you got for us?
That's a good point.
The professor knows how to dial his team in and has some of the best strategy in competing against your opponents. He does his work. He watches the video, charts everything, and gives his players a game plan. So, when you got the professor on your side, you've definitely got a huge chip in your corner.
Well, and listening to Todd Rogers for so many years now talk about, his game prowess and the way he scripts gameplay, I know that he is just cheesing right now with not the point we just watched, but the very last point, right? So Savvy and Abby took a timeout. Ella Connor, Izzy Martinez come back out of the timeout, win the very next point. Todd is huge on coming out of timeouts, firing on all cylinders, and what a response they made coming out of that timeout, instantly racking another point on the board. And there, a great side out by Ella Connor. Not the best pass, but Izzy Martinez just whipping that ball on the back set, and Ella Connor getting up and putting it down with authority. 17-10.
Big lead for the Mustangs of Cal Poly, so to speak. Van Winkle, big swing, dug up and over by Martinez. Option ball trickles over. Point going to the former Bruins of Simo and Van Winkle.
If you asked me, I'd say that Abby got lucky there. If you asked Abby, I'm sure she's going to tell you that's exactly what she meant to do. Swing into the top of the tape, get the roll point. That's exactly what I meant to do. Either way, not just won the board, 11-17.
Connor off the net pass. Connor goes wrist away on a surgical shot inside the block of Van Winkle.
So far right now, Savvy and Abby choosing to serve Ella Connor as she's not passing the best, but Izzy Martinez is making lemonade out of all these lemon passes that Ella's throwing right now, and that's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for them. They keep going to the Ella Connor, and it's the Ella
shoot
Connor
on
show.
2 and a retaliation shoot by Van Winkle. Oh, I love it.
I love the move by Ella Connor there, but savvy Simo with the pickup on the overcutty set is going to earn the point, 12-18. They've got a big hill to climb here, but she's got her hiking boots on, and they're going to see what they can do.
Inside set to Martinez. She's blocked by Van Winkle and AVW on the putback.
Yeah, big block there by Abby Van Winkle as they try to make a case for a late push here. They've got, like I said, a long road ahead of them. They're going to try to bring this set back and maybe a reversal of the tide. But regardless if they win this first set, they just need some good momentum points right now to build on going into that second set. As so far, Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez have had all of the momentum in this match so far, and there, a nice little put away is going to send Ella Connor back to the line, serving 19-13.
As you called, Connor drops it over towards Van Winkle on a short serve, and they're running a little shake and bake play on that back set, and Van Winkle puts it away.
To the scene, 14-19.
Very Jenny Johnson-Jordan-esque offense there, showing one way but going the other.
Nice little deacon turn.
14 looking at 19. Standing float misses long. There's a lot of movement, but too much juice on it. So we have our first set point.
Man, Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez have to just be cheesing ear to ear right now, knowing what they've been able to do in this first set so far.
And Simo on the option knuckler.
Good shot by Savvy there. Just again, Savvy and Abby, just listen to them for years talking how they talk to each other and how they think about the game. They're just looking for momentum right now. Build a couple good points that they can build momentum off of going into the second set. Nothing fancy, just nice, good, simplistic balls. And they're a touch off the blocks, going to give the first set over to Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez. What a great response by them.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, you know, with the way they were playing in their quarterfinal match, it doesn't surprise me they've come out with such fire and ready to go here. And mentally, you know, they just look really smooth. A lot of what they're running is very textbook, very basic, but it's getting the job done with a very good Van Winkle Simo team on the other side of the net. I mean, they are by no means going to let up at all. And you know they're going to come out with fiery breath in set number 2, which means Connor and Martinez are going to have to play even better and more prepared. I see Simo taking a step up on defense, and you know she relies on her fiery passion to get the team going because she's an emotional player, and when she gets going emotionally, that means Van Winkle catches the fire as well, and that could be trouble, and we could be going 3.
Absolutely. This is anyone's match right now, to be honest. I know that Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez took down the first set, so it certainly feels like they're in control, but if we're being completely honest, Savvy Simo, Abby Van Winkle possess all of the tools and some to not only force the third set, but take the third set. So Ella Connor, Izzy Martinez, Todd Rogers, if you're listening, text them, shoot a smoke signal, whatever you got to do, and let them know they've got to keep their foot on the gas. They cannot slow down for even a second, as Savvy Simo and Abby Van Winkle have been in this point many times in their careers, and they are looking to make a big statement here in this second set, flip the tide, reversal of fortune, and force a third set with some passion, power, and prejudice.
Good call there, Taylor. And you know, if you think about the NCAA game now, when you have coaches' names you're dropping like Jenny Johnson-Jordan, Todd Rogers, you got Jose Loyola now newly hired at South Carolina. There's so many great names. John Merritt, LMU. Look at all these names and coaches, all these programs. And look at the knowledge, experience, and skill they're pouring into these athletes in the years to come. I mean, it's amazing to see the development of all these athletes. And I'm sorry I didn't drop any other coaches' names, but there are so many, and that's the whole point. They're getting some of the top world-class training from the top coaches in the world.
A 1-1. Fish sticks. Here's the score in the second set.
A must-win set now for Simo and Van Winkle here in our semifinal. Martinez passes a dime. Connor flings the butter out to the side, and Martinez, little jam inside the block. Two serving to one. Martinez stands at 5'9", the defender from Winnetka, California. She's just finished her junior season with Todd Rogers and the Mustangs. Firing to the pin is Simo, and Ella Connor gets a clamp down.
Sorry, my monster block finger was malfunctioning there. I couldn't quite get that one out quick enough.
Defective monster block finger. We need to call for first aid.
You're gonna have to help me out there, Rob. Winnetka, California. How far is that from you? That's your neck of the woods, I assume.
3 or 4 hours. Well, it all depends. If there's traffic on the freeway, a 3 or 4 hour drive can turn into an 8-hour nightmare.
That's a great point. I've been out to California quite a few times. My brother was out there for quite a while working for SpaceX, and anytime I went there, it was either an hour or 4.
Abby back to the line, 3.
And an ace there for Abby Van Winkle ties it up at 3-3, 1 point away from a switch as Savvy and Abby look to build a case early in the second set on why they should go to 3.
Abby Van Winkle with another tough float serve goes on the option ball, covered by Connor on the block. Van Winkle swings this away. Connor dives into the line, gets the dig, and Connor high line roll for the point and winner.
What a shot that was by Ella Connor, drifting off the net, falling away, and the ability to snap that ball down the line just out of the reach of Abby Van Winkle. What a turn that was. Phenomenal play by Ella Connor.
Deep load serve over towards Van Winkle. Van Winkle dug cross-court angle by Martinez, and Connor hits the option ball long.
We saw Ella Connor start to go to a little bit more of the option swing and ball in that last match that she played here on Stadium, and she found some good times with it and some bad times. So it'll be interesting to see if she can clean that up, because when it's working, it is a powerhouse of a swing.
Yeah, Taylor, I wanted you to comment on, if you look at Ella Connor's setting style, she is so smooth when she takes it with her hands.
She really is, and we don't see that a lot of times from these, taller players. Ella coming in at 6'1", so to see the command that she has to use her hands, you're great for setting me up there, Rob, and let me talk about that. Oh, and a little jump set.
Jumpy,
right
bumpy,
on you.
With a little thumpy at the end.
Word. Ella, young lady, where do those hands come from? She's been setting butter all day, but to gotta have that backwards jump set there from Ella Connor, man, what a phenomenal pull that was.
That's not the first time Izzy Martinez has been a part of a viral play. Her partner at Cal Poly this year, Logan Walter, went viral this year. A ball that was past sight. She faked attack on 2, took a deep dish set, flung it to Martinez with no block up, and Martinez thumped it 10-foot line. And let's just say it's got over 100,000 views within the first day.
As it should. And right again, Izzy Martinez taking over the second set just as she did in their last match. What a beautiful pickup read there. And a tape roller, what did you call it last week? A worm roller?
A tape worm trickler, or the sorry not sorry kill.
And we talked about this in the last match. Izzy Martinez has this sixth sense, this ability to just take over a match from the defense position, which is not something we typically see. A lot of times it's the blocker up at the net really, shutting down the airspace and really making the other team feel so uncomfortable. But in this case, Izzy Martinez touching everything. And then the biggest thing, doing a lot of what we talked about last week that Gina Uringo does so well, is just that smooth transition out of the defensive ball. And there we saw it. A great rundown for that high line behind Ella Connor. Great pass, but she almost never even stopped her body movement. So she makes that pass, immediately swings wide, gets ready for that big sweeping approach into the high set off Ella Connor's setting, and then just comes in and just drops that one right off the top of the tape. So Izzy Martinez doing what we've already watched her do twice now on the day right here on Stadium Court, is just take over a match from the defensive role. And unless Savvy and Abby can find an answer for that, they're, I don't want to say a long road, they're in for a short road if they can't force a third set.
See Martinez on the serve. They're working Abby, and Abby knows what to do. She takes a crack at it. Now, Taylor, I was going to ask you this. You can train as much as you want, but there are certain athletes who instinctually are just in the right place at the right time. And one athlete that comes to mind on the men's side is Taylor Sander. He just seems to be able to make those big plays for big points. And I feel like Izzy Martinez is that kind of player as well.
He does, but another thing I want to bring up that you actually reminded me so well of earlier, and again we talked about, my own coaching brain was screaming at her to stay still, but Izzy Martinez is just so fast. She's able to make that first step early read, and if it was the right read, she's sitting there waiting for the ball. But even if it's not the right read, she is just so quick. She can turn on the brakes, turn on the boosters, and just run back. Right there, we're seeing it. She made a read down the line there, immediately stops her feet, sprints back the other direction, and picks up the Savvy Simo Hoki. So Izzy Martinez just flying.
Taking issue with what you said as she blasts that one on a long rally. Hard fought one at that.
One way to beat a great defender that's reading your shot so well is just go up and rip the ball. Stop shooting. By the way, to the side of our stream there, we see the AVP crew and Nick Piccoli. Big shout out to that staff out there working so hard, putting up some extra ball mesh to the left of Stadium Court, as there are no more matches to be played other than what's happening here on Stadium Court. I believe there may just be one more semi on each side taking place down at the other end, but we're getting ready for a finals match coming up here after this women's semi, and then going directly into a women's final.
Van Winkle, good ball into the middle as she swings to the right side again, and they really like that play, Taylor.
Yeah, that's something we've talked about over the last couple of weeks. That's straight out of that UCLA playbook. Maybe pass a little wide of the middle line, and then run either that back set or that push set away from the blocker, opening up a lot of shot cutty options as well as a big angle swing option.
And Martinez fading away and putting it away. Point to the side, 11-7.
So it appears that Savvy and Abby have some answers right now to the riddle of Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez. The question is, can they show their work quick enough to bring this set back and force a tight one?
And just missing the line. Savvy back to the line.
Going just a bit wide. Point going to Savvy and Abby. Needing to make a big move here to force a third set tiebreak. Good dancing serve over towards Martinez. Martinez off speed, diving into the seam is Simo. Simo off the cable, and there's our famous trickler again.
Yeah, Izzy Martinez got one of her own, and now Savvy has one of hers. So let's see who the next person to get a tape trickler is going to be, because I could see all four of these athletes earning one of this in the second set. It's going to be tightly contested now.
There's balance in the volleyverse now. And the second ball falls out of play on the out-of-system pass from Martinez. And like that, 10-11 here in our technical timeout, Taylor.
Yeah, big pushback by Savvy and Abby now, forcing Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez to, they're going to have to clean up their game. We saw this earlier, and we talked about it a good bit as well, where Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez maybe not playing the cleanest ball at times and getting out of some points just on maybe some, I don't want to say luck, but some things falling their way and still able to pull a set win off. But we're seeing that kind of shakiness right now where they sometimes can get stuck in a moment and not play the cleanest of volleyball and give up some quick, easy points. So Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez need to clean things up here if they're hoping to put this one away in two. And Simo and Van Winkle are just pushing right now, big time. You see that, talk a lot about all weekend, that body language. You can see Abby Van Winkle is just marching to the far sideline right now as she knows Savvy Simo's headed to the line, and she's expecting another great serve here. They just got Izzy Martinez out of position and out of system on the last serve. I think they go right back to her.
Connor steps in for that pass. Connor going reverse grain against the tide. Forget that knuckle winner.
Yeah, there's that highway of havoc that you like to call it. That was a great serve by Savvy down that highway, and Ella doing her job there is the big and stepping in, getting that ball and going up and putting it away.
Van Winkle on the offense drops it down the line, and Martinez there, but I think she made too late a move on that one. One of the very few times that she gets caught off guard.
Very few. We have not said Izzy Martinez misses the dig very many times so far today.
Martinez recorded her 75th program win in April, which is one of the program records for Cal Poly Beach, and came in as a second team All-American in 2025. As we see Martinez sneak it by.
No, I think that one went into the tape there. That's going to be a point the way of Savvy and Abby. Yeah, that one looked like it was making its way over, and that tape denying Izzy Martinez a kill.
You know, we're sitting here talking about Gina Urango here on the feed, and I just got a text. Thanks for telling our story.
She listen, they double earned every single point in the end of that match last weekend in Denver, and you couldn't talk about a more well-earned championship than that one right there.
Well, it just shows the character of Gina Rango, just grateful to play this great game, and her love for it shows, and the passion she has, and the way she represents herself, and as an ambassador not only to the AVP but to all of volleyball.
So Savvy Simo and Abby Van Winkle actually grabbed the lead for the first time in this set with that last point, the point before, and then Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez tying it up.
Ooh, a Cuddy misses just wide.
Yeah. Miss Cuddy's going to give another lead back to Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez. So Simo and Van Winkle have battled back and made this a tightly contested second set, but Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez finding some luck there on a missed Cuddy.
Van Winkle high middle set, and she goes cross body on the winner.
14-14 switch now.
You know, in Abby Van Winkle's career, one of the things that she's known for is her consistency as a big, but she moves well, she serves tough, she has such a vast array of weapons she can use against you, and that's why she won so much at UCLA. Pick up by Van Winkle. Van Winkle on the delivery, pulls back on the attack, but misses wide.
One thing I want to bring up too, you know, while digging through the archives of BVB info and looking at some things that could, you know, lead to maybe some things going on in the court, one thing I want to bring up is Savvy Simo, 61 tournaments on the AVP tour. Abby Van Winkle, 39. Both of them playing seven seasons and 8 seasons. A completely different story on the way of Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez. Ella Connor only 5
Look at that!
Oh,
the
my
wall of
word.
shame by Ella Connor. She jumped into that angle.
Ella heard me about to talk about how she's a a young gun or maybe an inexperienced player on the AVP, and not showing it there. Savvy calling a quick timeout. So yeah, Ella Connor, only 3 seasons on the AVP tour, as well as Izzy, and only 7 tournaments and 5 tournaments. So we've got a matchup of the veterans versus the young guns, but right now, the young guns taking the first set decidingly, and right now, kind of that 2/3 way of this second set are marching to the finish line.
Martinez standing in that back left corner, hitting that hybrid over towards Van Winkle. High back set into the middle, dug by Martinez. In pursues Connor. She gets a good grab on it, but Martinez too tight on in the net.
Yeah, Martinez has shown a lot of hitting prowess this weekend so far, but she's still only 5'9", Ella. She's not able to go up and elevate and smash that ball. That one's going to be a little too tight.
15 looking at 16, the 6'2" Van Winkle serving it up here on the near side. Working Martinez. Let's see what she does. And again, a little surgical shot into the corner.
Yeah, pull out the scalpel. She just cut that one right down the line, just past the blocking hand of Abby Van Winkle. 17-15. What answers can Simo and Van Winkle come up with right now to slow this down?
Deep serve down area 5, and Connor didn't realize Martinez was right behind her. And what's that number 1 rule? Never reach back.
Yeah. Izzy Martinez making a great read there. She's just sitting there waiting for the ball, and Ella just reaching back, and I'm sure Izzy was screaming, "Mine!"
Easy serve picked up, but it's a bad pass. Recovering is Connor, and she hits it into the net. 17s.
Yeah, so it looks like Simo and Van Winkle found that answer. They're going to go after Connor a little bit more in serve receive, maybe hope for a bad pass. The only risk they run there is if she can get a hold of a good pass, Izzy's giving her a hittable set, and so far she's been nearly unstoppable on the offensive side.
Connor on the attack. She goes soft into the corner, mixing it up and catching Simo off guard.
Yeah, I mean, what offensive pull has Ella Connor not pulled out in this match so far? We've seen jumbos, we've seen cutties, power pokies, cut shots, high lines. I mean, she's just pulling out all the stops she wants to make a finals appearance here at AVP WAUPACA Open.
Deep float over towards Van Winkle. Van Winkle on the charge, and Connor on the denial.
You know, I talked about all of her offensive weapons she's pulled out, but I didn't mention the monster block that Ella Connor has been throwing up. I believe that's her 4th on the match. She's adding to the stat line right now. She wants defensive and offensive player of the match.
Good serve by Martinez. Van Winkle drops it down the line.
Very, very crucial point within the side out well there, bringing us to 18-19. However, they need a reel if they're going to have any chance of winning this set, and they honestly need it right now. Ella Connor, Izzy Martinez, all they have to do is keep siding out, and this match is theirs.
Short float over towards Martinez. Connor on the option, and she delivers, and they are now serving for match point to 18.
I want to talk about how great of an option swing that was. Ella Connor, kind of jumped into that ball and then smartly just turning her chest and shoulder back away to the line, away from the block of Abby.
Van Winkle and a good recovery by Connor, and Martinez misses just wide.
Oh, just wide. Like grains of sand wide. Oh, Izzy, don't stop swinging. That was a great swing, just barely falling out of bounds. 19 serving 20.
Connor puts up the dime. Connor off speed, and the Mustangs, or Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez, sweep their way to the final. Taylor, give me your thoughts. Penny for your thoughts here on our semifinal match.
A penny. I might need a whole quarter for my thoughts after that match. What a great showing by Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez. if you just go off the stat line of their first matchup, again, Ella and Izzy did a great job responding in the second set, but just the veteran, stature of Savvy Simo and Abby Van Winkle kind of taking that match home in a decided fashion. But Ella Connor and Izzy just showed up in this match that mattered more. Being a semifinal, a single elimination bracket, what a great showing by them, by the young guns here. And I'm almost speechless, Rob. That was a beautiful showing by some young talent here on the AVP Contender Series Tour, and I'm really excited to see Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez over the next couple of years continue their growth as players. Ella Connor showing off some beautiful offensive prowess to the net. Izzy Martinez, young lady, you're coming for Savvy Simo, or you're coming for Gina Uringo's title as my most electric defender on the tour right now with your performance today. And I'm excited to see how they match up in the finals, as they're going to look to build some early leads and really push hard. But a great showing by them. Savvy, Abby, you guys did a phenomenal job. We watched some great ball from you guys at AVP Denver, and then some great ball again today. Certainly hold your chins high as you fought well, but Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez just playing at a different level right here in this match.
Excellent call by Taylor Wright, and I'll have to say we have a quick turnaround trying to avoid the inclement weather. So we have a men's semi coming up here in about 10-ish or so minutes. I believe I did see it. Charlie Siragusa and Wyatt Harrison facing off against Evan Corey and Troy Field. Again, that's about 10 minutes. So we're going to jump off really quick. For Taylor Wright, I'm Rob Espero here at the WAUPACA Open. We are grinding through the semis and eventually the final. Abby Van Winkle and Savvy Simo do not go home empty-handed. 2,700. So split here. Equal third place after advancing to the semifinal and moving on. The Mustangs, Ella Connor and Izzy Martinez. Don't go away. More AVP WAUPACA Open coming your way here on YouTube.